Can you hear me?
Yes.
I tend to speak softly, so if you don't hear me, I would appreciate if someone shouts from the back, speak louder, and I'll do so. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you to Mr. Larry Akins, and Ms. Hager Anson for the very nice introduction. And Dr. Sung, the Integrated Health Through Evidences and Recording for Developing Countries, iheardc. Thank you guys for inviting me to speak today. And thank you guys for coming and sitting here to be a part of this very important fundraiser. So in preparing for these remarks, I perused through the information for iheardc, and I was reading through the mission statement essentially, which was about improving healthcare by providing interoperable electronic health record system for the people who are in need of care to ensure continuity of care, evidence-based treatment, and preventing medical mistakes. I find this mission to be very admirable, and the importance of developing electronic medical records cannot be underestimated, particularly in this technological age. So I remember in my interactions with the Guinean healthcare system, how precious the medical records were. And coming to the hospitals, the patients would go up to a counter where there was a nurse or a clerk. They'll give their name, and then they'll wait for them to go into this mysterious back room and come out with their file or folder. So everyone is waiting anxiously as the nurse, who at this point has like a temper because they've been dealing with this all day. And when they come out and they tell you, oh, we have your file, then you're like, thank God. And then you take this bulky folder with all of these little scripts in there, and you know the handwriting of our Guinean doctors. The mark of a good Guinean doctor is if your handwriting was illegible. So you take this folder full of all of these receipts, and then you take it to your appointment. And then the opposite of that was when they'll call you give your name to the person, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, your file is not here. And then look on your face and the dread and the dismay, because you know your whole medical career, your whole medical history is in that file, in that folder. And now someone is telling you we can't find the folder. And the questions that are running through your head at that point is, well, how would they know what's wrong with me? How would they know what's been done already? How would they figure out what they need to do next for me to be able to take good care of me? And for a good number of these patients who are in a lot of ways illiterate, when it comes to their health information, you're really leaving them at a handicap because they can't be able to explain that information to the next healthcare provider. And you know, having that lack of knowledge translates in a break of care for them. And then compare this to my recent experiences in the American health system, having been through medical school here, and also having started my residency. So I finished my first month of residency, and this is the first time I'm seeing my parents actually in the past month. And when I started residency and also through my medical school career, when you start your day with a computer. And you look in the electronic medical records of all the patients that you have under your care. And you can see exactly what happened to each and every single patient throughout the day, throughout the night, what medications were given, did they have that imaging done, what were the lab results that they got overnight throughout that day. And then you have this information, and the physicians and the other healthcare providers, they're able to intervene on it very quickly. And there have been several instances throughout my young career thus far where that critical finding that we got through the electronic medical records was the difference between life and death for a patient, where we had to rush someone to the intensive care unit because we had that value, or rush them to the operating room because we saw that image in real time as to what was happening to them. And this is something that we have and we take for granted. It's something that I don't have to think twice about. I know it's always there. And regardless of where I am, whether I am within the hospital or outside the hospital, I can always assess this information. I mean, I can always kind of impact the care of my patients that way. The Ready Access has untold benefits, I've already said, but also has benefits for the development of research infrastructure and answering clinical questions that would impact the lives of the patients that we're taking care of at that moment, and also patients that we're going to encounter throughout our clinical career. I myself have used